Good morning and welcome to day 2 of Vlogmas. I've just started drinking my coffee and I forgot to show you something yesterday. My yarn advent for this year. This year I am doing a Sundays of Advent. So this was the yarn from the first Sunday of Advent. It's difficult this is one of the most difficult colors to show on screen because it's more of a green than a blue. So if you can think dark turquoise, and the colorway is evergreen, and it's from Lille Design, which is a Norwegian yarn dyer. I bought the yarn from her before and I really loved it, and I of course was hoping for a mini advent, but I have a lot of minis. I do. So depending on how well I think these blend together, I don't know if it's a fade or anything. All I know is that her inspiration is vintage Christmas ornaments. That's all I know. And there was both turquoise and pinks and light blues and stuff in her inspiration picture, and silver and gold, of course. So I'm hoping the colors will blend or match each other. If they do, I'm doing a 5 colors so faded by Andrea Maury. I decided to do that. And I'm wearing sort of a special sweater today. It's special because it's got a really weird shape, but it's beautiful, and it turned out far too big when I made it and the neck opening is far too big and everything, and I decided let's try felting it. So I felted it and it still got a really weird shape, but at least I can use it now. So this is one of my wearing at home sweaters. I've never been able to use them a lot before because in our old place we had underfloor heating in the whole thing. So it actually never got cold, if you know what I mean. But here, if you don't use the wood burner, I sort of have to wear a knitted sweater, but who cares, because I have just quite a few knitted sweaters I can wear. So, and so does hubby, basically, so who cares. When it comes to the designer of this thing, I'm trying to think, I can't remember, so I know it's a big name. I'll do my research and I'll put it up on the screen when I put this up later today. I'm feeling I'm going to have a slow start today, I think. It feels like I need a slow start. I forgot to tell you something else yesterday. I do have an everyday advent. I have the licorice advent from Bülow. I do have that. That's we have the one with 2 chocolate pieces, 2 chocolate / licorice pieces every day, and I share that with hubby after dinner every day as a dessert of sorts. So I do have an everyday advent. I do. Plans for today are not too complicated. I'm just going to tidy up a bit, keep carrying stuff downstairs, tidy up a bit in the spare room downstairs. That's now my dumping ground, and it's going to stay my dumping ground until into the new year, because I'm going to use that room. I'm going to carry everything. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put it. I'm carrying it down there and leaving it for now, because I'm going to prioritize getting the rest of the house looking good for Christmas. Depending on how satisfied I am with the way it looks, I might do a house tour during Vlogmas. Depending on how good. Also, because I'm doing Vlogmas the way I'm doing it, you get to see bits of the house. Because sometimes I'm having the camera over here, sometimes I'm having it over here, so you get to see pieces of it. But some rooms I'm never going to go into to record something, so I probably have to do a tour. And now I realize that the iron I used for my curtains yesterday is still out here. As you can tell, I'm not the best person in the world when it comes to housework. I almost kicked the tripod. Something else I realized while I was recording yesterday's episode was that I have this fancy so-called vlog cam from Sony. I bought it when I thought I was going to do something special with this channel. It was at the end of Arctic Crafts, when I was trying to keep the shop going. I bought this camera because I had big plans for doing stuff to promote my yarn dyeing. It never came to fruition, but I've been using this camera for recording my podcasts ever since. I never used it for actual vlogging. I did that yesterday. I took this vlogging cam on my walk. I used this vlogging cam to record me hanging up the mitten yesterday morning, and it was really choppy. It wasn't one sliding motion like the mobile phone, because I've never tried recording a lot of moving stuff with this, if you know what I mean. I've always just put it on the tripod and talked into it, like I'm doing now. So I've been experimenting a bit with some settings and stuff, and we'll see if this works better. I'm going to try using it again for close-up stuff, and hopefully I've been figuring it out. Something else I want to figure out is if it's possible to record northern lights with this camera. I have to look at the settings, because I would really love to be able to do that again. I used to have a cell phone that, I'm not sure why a cell phone was able to do that. It was one of those Chinese cell phones that Huawei, that you actually could record northern lights with. Hopefully. I know sort of how to do it. You have to do the light sensitivity in the camera to the max when you're recording. But these fancy modern cameras, everything is sort of settings. So I'm going to go through the manual and see if there's anything for that exact thing. Maybe fireworks. If there's a fireworks setting that would work for northern lights. Anyways, I'm going to finish my coffee, and then I'm going to try to do something useful. And I'll see you later. I decided to give you the home tour as is. Let's be honest, this house is never going to be clean or tidy. So let's go. I just stepped inside our entrance. And this is the first room. It's a small hallway with our clothes and our shoes. And we put this door in. It just was an opening here with the hinges and everything. But because we have two indoor cats, we wanted a proper way to keep them indoors. Speaking of which, here is one of them. He wants to go into that room because my son used that room before he moved next door. And Roar misses him. He comes by to say hello a couple of times a day though, so. That room you don't need to see, trust me, it's my dumping ground. And through that room there's another door for our storage space. You don't need to see that either. This is a wardrobe, built-in wardrobe, with lots of space for shoes. This is one of the things I really loved with this when it came to view this place. And here is some art. The drawings are by me, and the skimpily clad lady is by my father. And as you can see, I'm giving you the tour as is, so there are still boxes here and there. And they'll be gone by Christmas, hopefully. So then we go up the stairs, and here is my mitten calendar. I had fall leaves and Halloween decorations there before I changed them. And at the top of the stairs we have 3 doors. This is a gift from my friend Sue in Canada. It marks the bathroom door. And through there is the laundry room. That's a mess, of course. Not that the bathroom is any better. But here's our bathroom. And this embroidery is by Liz, Sue's friend. I can't remember what her new nick is on Instagram. I'll link it down below. I'll put up her account name on Instagram at the bottom of the screen. She just changed it. And this is our bedroom. Wow, that was bright. I know that blanket isn't big enough, but I think it's really pretty, so I made this, by the way. It's a Helen Shrimpton pattern. If I can remember to, I'll put the name of the pattern down below. That angel was made by a friend of mine named Trine. And that's not centered because there was a screw in the wall at that point. I've been reusing the screws already in the walls. And this painting is by my friend Trine. That was our wedding present from her. And that carving is by my father. If you can't tell, it's a polar bear. So that's our bedroom. And this is our guest bedroom. As soon as I turn on the light, it gets bright. This mural was here when we moved in. And my son really loved it, so he wanted it to stay put, but we changed the colors of the walls. They were sort of a peach, dark peach, because a little girl used to have this room. There were lots of cute stickers on the walls and everything. I removed those. So we got a double bed for this room, even though it's a small room, because hopefully we can have couples staying overnight, so we needed a double bed. And because there are 2 singles, I need to strip the legs together, so they don't slide apart. It's okay when my son is here, because he can just choose what bed he wants to sleep in, but if I have couples coming over, I need to strip use some zip ties to strip their legs together. And Roar jumped into the window. This is all the Lego my son has built that is in our house. I just made an exhibition for his room, and he has a desk here if he wants to stay in here on his laptop. Hopefully he wants to use the desk in the living room. I'm going to show you that soon. And there's another of those. These were used in school back in the day, and I have 2 of them. And this is a wardrobe, and that's not for guests, that's for us. And here we have some gnomes I bought on sale. Those are going, one of them are probably staying in this room. I want my son to have a gnome in his room for Christmas. And because Roar is in here now, I can't close the door. I love that light fixture, by the way. So thankfully they left that when they moved out. And I have lots of art on the walls everywhere because I have quite a collection. And again, my father had something for, yeah, that lady is scantily clad. She's she's naked. That's wood etching, is that what you call it, by my father. And this is also painted by him. It's a watercolor. And this is one of mine. That's a watercolor. And these, the names of the artist, I think it's Torjussen, this. And this is one we bought on auction, on an online auction, because it's big and I love the colors. Some abstract paintings are really nice. This is a dumping ground. I watch a clutterbug from time to time, and she told people to have an HQ in their house for papers you drag into the house and stuff. So this is sort of our HQ. I just have to clear it out for all the things that's not supposed to be here. Screws, tools. I'm moving in, what can I say? The kitchen is a mess. A complete mess. But again, I decided to do this as is. So I just made myself lunch. That's a coffee corner. I wish I had cleaned this place out before I showed you. But this is a working kitchen, so it's never going to be pretty. And this is by Katie Green. It was on my kitchen wall in the old place, and it's still in my kitchen wall. It's a tea towel, but I could never use that as a tea towel. And there are some of my favorite mugs. And I put up those hooks for my apron and my pasta sieve and stuff like that. Here we come into the living room. And there is another cut. That's Severus Snape. And the blanket I crocheted. This is our wood burner. It's wood in those bags. I need to figure out a better way of doing that. That's a bit more aesthetically pleasing. And more art. And more art. I'm changing the color of that wall. We have to paint that wall because when we removed the bracket they hung their TV from, this happened. And I bought the paint. It's going to be a red color, sort of the red in her jacket, like that red, sort of that red. And TV, we got a really tiny TV. My son just bought himself a 65-inch TV, so ours is tiny, tiny. This is a shelving unit we bought, and it's not supposed to be full of stuff. It's sort of for showing off things. And this photograph is from 1946, and it's my father and his one of his sisters. There were only those two at the time, and it's taken in 1946, as I said, so my father would have been 9 at that point. And Isaac is really, really scarily similar to his grandfather. And more gnomes. 'Tis the season after all. I still have a pumpkin here because I think that pumpkin is really pretty. Some blankets. And this is where I've hidden my advent. That's for my works in progress, by the way. I wanted a nice way to... That fish is not for decor. It's Snape's, but he doesn't play with it. And there's a lantern and there is some more art that hasn't made it to the walls yet. I think I'm just going to pack it away for Christmas because I have to figure out where to put it. I even haven't put the chairs back in place. So this is the view from the living room. And here is where we feed our birds. And this is the dining room. The dining table with garbage on the chairs. This was my 60th birthday present from hubby. It's made by a local artist. It's probably meant for fruit, but I'm not sure I'm going to keep anything in it because it's so pretty. I'll just put that in there while I'm waiting to get a more Christmassy pot for it. And this is the hutch we bought second hand. It clashes with everything else, but that makes it look like it was handed down, and I love that. And this is the cat tree. It's not big, and they don't use the bed anymore because they've found much better places to sleep. And I should have put away the ironing board before I showed you this. Give me a moment. I'm just going to pull it out and put it back in the laundry room afterwards. So this is a mess at the moment. Like everything else, I have to stop excusing myself. I'm still moving in. These shelves are more utility. This is where we keep where I keep my yarn and my notions. Hubby keeps his stamp stuff. So this is more utility. Because this living room was so big, we decided to divide it into 2 zones. We have a proper desk for the first time, where we can work on, I can work on my planning, he can work with his stamps. And here is another shelf, that's for our vinyl albums and some books. All the D&D books are here. And I have some bobbins down there, some decorations. And that picture is made by my son. And this is something we just bought. It's a record player, and we also bought a speaker for it, so now I can actually play my vinyls. And here is my eel wheel station. And here is my Ashford kiwi. It's also in the living room. And my Swift. And these are here because they're decorative. I don't want to stash them away anywhere because they're decorative. I want them to show. And it's there we have a lot of artificial plants, both because we have cats and because I kill everything green. Hopefully that won't count for the outside because I'm going to have lots of vegetables and stuff in the garden next year. So that's it. And sorry about the mess, but this is what it looks like from day to day. And we live here, so why would I make it look like an estate agency ad? I'm knitting. I'm actually knitting. This is the first pattern in this year's Knitvent by Curious Handmade. And this is the button box throw. I'm knitting this with some cheap yarn I bought from Hobby. It's a limited edition Black Friday yarn. It's 80% acrylic and 20% wool. But it actually smells woolly. So, and I'm just going around and around. I memorized the pattern, so I'll just keep going. And I bought 2 of these. So I don't know how big it's going to be, and this is one of those everlasting projects. It's just that I don't feel like knitting something else at the moment. My knitting mojo is practically non-existent, so this is as much knitting as I can be bothered to do. I'm also enjoying a cup of coffee. So I'm having a coffee and knit break. I'm not sure what I'm going to do afterwards. It's only 1:45, so I have a couple of hours left before hubby gets home. My son has the day off. He's been up here to say hello, mostly to the cats, not to his mother. And he brought a present: laundry. He has his own washing machine, but he's been really busy, and some benefits. He should have some benefits. Still living in his mother's house, sort of. He's renting an apartment in the house, but maybe I'm spoiling him. That's sort of the things I can do. I'm home every day, so why not do his laundry? He's working. He's got the day off today though. But he's going to choir practice this evening. Speaking of choir practice, his choir is having a Christmas concert. They do this every year, but it's his first time participating. It's a midnight concert. They usually do it a few days before Christmas. This year it's the 20th. And my other son arrives on the 19th, so he can actually come with us for that concert. So that was sort of kickstart Christmas for us. Carols, I think it's called, sort of translated into English, Carols at Midnight or something. So looking forward to that. And now I'm going to keep enjoying my coffee and maybe some Vlogmases or maybe something else. And then we'll see what I come up with afterwards. Maybe I'll just sit around and knit as long as I want to. I feel like I deserve that. See you later. So here we are at the end of the day. I could do this later this evening because I have the house to myself from about 6:30 p.m. for a couple of hours, but I want to spend that time doing something completely different. So here I am. You can see we have the same problem in our bedroom as we have in the spare bedroom. I've started editing, and I wrote it in a caption underneath that the walls aren't uneven colored. It looks like the wall is uneven, the color is uneven. But both this room and the spare bedroom has a crystal chandelier of sorts. It's not a chandelier, but the light fixtures have a lot of prisms, crystals. And that makes the light break up. So that's why this wall looks uneven. It's because of the light fixture, just so you know. Hubby is doing a political meeting tonight, and as it happens, it's at the same time as Isaac's choir practice, so I have the evening, a couple of hours, as I said, this evening to myself. Probably just going to make myself a cup of tea, maybe watch some YouTube, just chilling, I think. It's lovely to be able to do that sometimes. I've gotten a bit of work done today and satisfied with that. Not sure what I'm going to spend the day doing tomorrow, but probably more tidying. Nothing interesting, I think. We'll see, maybe I start planning my baking, because everything I'm baking for Christmas, it's cookies. And if you put the cookies in an airtight tin, they last. So I can start planning my baking already. So we'll see what I come up with. I have to write myself a list, because some of the stuff I use for baking I don't have all year round. There are like the coriander seeds. I think I have enough coriander seeds, but I'm not sure, because I'm making my father's recipe for coriander cookies. And I spoke to my youngest and he wants to help me decorate the tree. I'm allowed to put the lights on, but nothing else. So that's something we're going to enjoy doing together. So I'm going to edit this now and put it up on YouTube. And I'll see you tomorrow morning.